The European Union, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia have just announced coordinated sanctions against the United States for the first time in history. You heard that right. America's closest allies, the nations that have stood with us through 2 world wars, through the Cold War, through every global crisis for nearly a century, have imposed economic penalties on the country they once considered their indispensable partner. These are not distant nations or fair-weather friends, but the core democratic allies that have formed the backbone of American power and influence for generations. The target is unmistakably clear: Donald Trump and his inner circle. The sanctions freeze assets, ban travel, and restrict financial transactions for Trump, 17 members of his administration, and over 40 American companies connected to his business empire. This represents an extraordinary reach into the financial and operational apparatus surrounding the American presidency, touching everything from cabinet secretaries to mid-level officials to corporate entities that have done business with Trump for decades. The announcement came simultaneously from Brussels, London, Ottawa, and Canberra at precisely 6 in the morning Eastern Time, a coordinated strike designed to maximize impact before American markets opened. The timing was clearly deliberate, calculated to send a message before traders, investors, and financial institutions could react or prepare. The synchronized nature of the announcement, with 4 separate governments speaking with one voice at the exact same moment, underscored just how extensively this action had been planned and how united these allies were in their determination to act. This isn't about trade disputes or tariff disagreements. This isn't about normal diplomatic friction or the kind of policy differences that routinely emerge between even the closest allies. According to the joint statement released by all 4 governments, these sanctions are being imposed in response to documented corruption, constitutional violations, and the systematic undermining of democratic institutions that threatens the stability of the Western alliance. The language used was stark and uncompromising, leaving no room for diplomatic ambiguity or face-saving interpretations. It's honestly hard to believe we've reached this point. This isn't just about strained diplomatic relationships or policy disagreements. We're talking about America's oldest allies treating the American president like they would treat a dictator from a hostile nation, employing the same tools and mechanisms they've used against authoritarian regimes in places like Russia, Iran, and North Korea. The implications for American power, prestige, and global standing are absolutely devastating. The relationship between Trump and traditional American allies has been deteriorating since his first term. He questioned NATO commitments, insulted allied leaders in public forums and private meetings, imposed tariffs on Canadian and European goods that hurt their economies, and repeatedly suggested that America's security guarantees couldn't be trusted.